أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فأتبع سببا. So he followed the way. He, Dhul Qarnayn, followed the way. حتى إذا بلغ مغرب الشمس, until when he reached the setting place of the sun. وجدها تغرب في عين هامئة, and he found the sun setting in Hami'ah, which means cloudy, murky or boiling water. And he found between this passageway, there was two mountains and there was a valley. In the valley there was a group of people. Allah says, وَجَدَ مِن دُونِهِمَا قَوْمًا لَا يَكَادُونَ يَفْقَهُونَ قَوْلًا. So he, Dhul Qarnayn, found before them a people who scarcely understood a word. There was a communication barrier there, because these people were isolated from the rest of the world, cut off from civilization. قَالُوا يَا ذَا الْقَرْنَيْنِ. They said, these people said, O Dhul Qarnayn, إِنَّ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ مُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Indeed, the Ya'juj and Ma'juj tribes are causing fasad, causing havoc, causing corruption and mischief in the land. Shall we then pay you a tribute in order that you may erect a barrier between us and them? So this tribe was having these interactions with Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Not a friendly one, of course. They were harmed greatly because Ya'juj and Ma'juj were indeed very, very, very evil. So they're asking Dhul Qarnayn for help, because they recognized Dhul Qarnayn was a mighty king and he himself had a vast army. And they also recognized that Dhul Qarnayn came from a superior civilization because they are quite behind. And they also recognized that Dhul Qarnayn was a just king. So they offered Dhul Qarnayn some money that they collected within themselves, so that a barrier could be erected from stopping Ya'juj and Ma'juj coming to their land and causing havoc. And Dhul Qarnayn replies, قَالَ مَا مَكَّنِّي فِي رَبِّي خَيْرٌ. Whatever my Lord has given me is better than what you have to offer. Your money, don't need that. What Allah has given me is far, far greater. Allah has made him the greatest king of his time. And he also said he will do the job. Fi sabilillah. No charge. Out of good intentions in helping the people. فَأَعِينُونِي بِقُوَّةٍ أَجْعَلْ بَيْنَكُمْ وَبَيْنَهُمْ رَدَمًا. So help me with strength of your manpower. So he gets them to do the work. And then he says, آتوني زبر الحديد. Give me pieces of iron. حتى إذا ساوى بين الصدفين. Then when he had filled up the gap between the two mountain cliffs with iron pieces, then he says, قال انفخوا. He says, blow. Then he says, قال آتوني أفرغ عليه قطرا. Bring me molten copper so that we can pour over them. Huge fire was built until it became so hot, and then the iron was piled up on this and became molten ore. And then he said blow, and the fire blew. You can imagine how huge this was. And then the molten copper was poured over the iron pieces and they stuck together. Subhanallah. It became like a solid mountain itself. Allahu Akbar. And as a result, Ya'juj wa Ma'juj was unable to climb over the barrier because of the height, and neither could they penetrate through it or dig under it at the bottom because it was solid. Allah knows how this was achieved. They are alive then and they are alive today. That itself is like a miracle, because today's technology can't find them. Where are they? فَمَا اسْطَاعُوا أَنْ يَظْهَرُوهُ وَمَا اسْتَطَاعُوا لَهُ نَقَبًا. So Ya'juj and Ma'juj were made powerless. The people were really impressed by Dhul Qarnayn. But Dhul Qarnayn wanted to teach them a lesson. And he says, قَالَ هَذَا رَحْمَةٌ مِّن رَبِّي. This is a mercy from my Lord. And he goes and sajda and gives sajda shukr, sujood of shukr, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because he recognized the effort he placed with this army, and the people who have been oppressed by Ya'juj and Ma'juj couldn't have been done without the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah gave him the army in the first place. Alhamdulillah. Allah mentions فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي جَعْلَهُ دَكَّاءَ. But when the promise of my Lord comes, he shall level this down to the ground. وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. And the promise of my Lord is true. It's always true. And the barrier that restrains them from that time will be breached when the hour draws near. Most certainly it is one of the major signs of the hour. لَن تَقُومَ السَّاعَةِ حَتَّى يَكُونَ قَبْلَهَا عَشْرُ آيَاتٍ. The last hour will not be established until there appears 10 signs before it. And amongst those 10 signs, وَخُرُوجُ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ. The emergence or the exiting of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, exiting from where? From that location. Subhanallah. And that time will be set for this wall, this barrier they erected, to be destroyed. And then the infamous Ya'juj and Ma'juj will come out, emerge, and cause havoc once again. Allahumma musta'an. Allah help us. Ameen. وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. And on that day, the day Ya'juj and Ma'juj will come out, we shall leave them to surge like waves on one another. They are huge in number, as if they are a swarm of flies. So when they come out, they will be like one on top of another. Allah mentions them again in Surah Al-Anbiya. He says, حَتَّى إِذَا فُتِحَتْ يَأْجُوجَ وَمَأْجُوجَ وَهُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ حَدَبٍ يَنْسِلُونَ وَقَتَرَبَ الْوَعْدُ الْحَقِّ. And when Ya'juj and Ma'juj are set loose, and they swoop down from every mountaintop, they will just keep coming out until the hour is near. The Prophet ﷺ once woke up from sleep one night, and he was in a state of fear. And he said, La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship but Allah. Woe to the Arabs from the evil that has approached them. Today, min radmi Ya'juj wa Ma'juj mithlu hadha. Today a hole has been opened in the barrier of Ya'juj Ma'juj, and it's like this. This size hole has been opened up during the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam 1400 years ago. Isa alayhi salam will be amongst us, and he will be leading the ummah to destroy the Dajjal. And after killing the Dajjal, like we mentioned before, Allah will then send Jibreel to Isa alayhi salam, because there is a certain creation, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, who have now been released. So you are now commanded to take the believers, go to the mountain and hide, subhanallah. And Isa alayhi salam will not be able to beat them, as they are far too many. Ya'juj wa Ma'juj dig every day. Every day they're digging, by the way, until when they can almost see a ray of sun. But that must have been after a hard, long day of work. So they're tired, and the leader goes, go back and we'll dig tomorrow. And Allah miraculously puts it back together and covers it. So makes them go through the hard work again and again, day after day, until when the leader will say, after seeing that little sunlight, the leader will say, go back and we will dig there tomorrow, inshallah. He says inshallah. His followers, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they also say inshallah. And then they come back tomorrow and they find it as they have left it. There is an opening. And that will be the moment they will break through and come out. And the hadith mentions they will dig and they will come out and they will drink all the water. All the water will be drank. So they will be set free by Allah, and they will now come down like swarm of bees from the mountain tops. Every hill and slope they're coming down in huge number, and they find and they pass through Lake Tabariya, which is quite big in Palestine. The first of it starts to drink until the last of it, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, when they come, we say at one point there was water here. They drank it all up. They are phenomenally large, subhanallah, and they will conquer the world, causing fitna and fasad. Everyone they see in front of them will be killed. They will kill everyone. They will not take any hostages. They will kill and kill and kill until they will say, لَقَدْ قَتَلْنَا مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. We have defeated and killed everyone on earth. Everyone's finished. They don't know Isa alayhi salam is hiding. But Isa alayhi salam, through this time, he and the believers are actually besieged in a mountain near Bayt al-Maqdis. And this period will be extremely hard for the believers. So Ya'juj and Ma'juj will then say, فَلْنَقْتُلْ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاءِ. So let us now kill everyone in the heavens. They will get their bow and arrow and they will start shooting towards the heavens. And Allah will make these arrows return to them with blood on them, causing them to think that they have killed the inhabitants of the heavens. And they will say, we are now the kings of the earth. Fools. So Isa alayhi salam and his companions will be in a dire situation, to an extent that there will be very little food, subhanallah. But the believers and Isa alayhi salam will make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will respond to the dua of Isa alayhi salam and the believers, It is mentioned Allah will send insects which will attack the necks of every Ya'juj and Ma'juj until they will all perish like a single person. Simultaneously they will all die. Subhanallah, another miracle. And Isa alayhi salam and his companions will then come down on earth, and they will not find a single handspan on earth. Can you imagine? Not a single handspan, but it's filled with the corpses of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Huge in them. And you can imagine the stench, the smell. So after that smell, they make dua to Allah. Ya Allah, get rid of this for us. So then Allah will send birds, and it's described these birds, their necks will be like camels, and other narrations mention something else. They will come and they'll pick up every corpse of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and they'll take them away wherever Allah decides to. And it is mentioned in another narration that the animals, the beasts, will now start eating on the flesh of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, will go big. Subhanallah.